Hello, my name is Joy V. Hill, and I would like to report on my action research findings in junior high academic interventions. This research took place in a charter school in Colorado, primarily focusing on the 7th grade students and their performance during academic interventions. As students transition from the different educational expectations in elementary to those in junior high, many students struggle with keeping up on all their work. Students now have 8 different teachers transitioning from class to class, as well as being in 90-minute block periods. Currently, we have 2 forms of interventions to support the academic needs of both 7th and 8th grade students. One intervention is called ROAR, which stands for Reinforcement of Academic Responsibility, and the other is called Academic Support. They both essentially provide the same support. However, ROAR occurs after school and is optional, while academic support occurs during school and is required for any students who have D's and F's. During this research conducted, I looked at GPAs of students as well as did a survey of parents and students and teachers. Both programs are built to help encourage student success and graduation in high school. During my research, I tracked the overall grade improvement of the students in the class of 2019. In general, students' GPAs did positively well, with the exception of the week of 10-4. During that week, one of our teachers was actually able to get his login into our grading system, and the students were able to see what their grade was in that particular class, which they had not been able to see prior to that point. And after that, once they were able to see their grade and improve that, they did in fact improve the following week, jumping up a substantial amount. After a student attended an intervention, either ROAR or academic support, their GPA in general tended to go up. However, as you can see, there were a substantial number of students whose GPA still went down despite attending academic support. This is a concern, as the whole intention is for them to be get better grades after attending that academic intervention. When students attended the optional after-school ROAR program, their GPAs in general tended to go up, and with the exception of the week of October the 1st, we saw a GPA improvement. Overall, students who attended ROAR saw a GPA improvement at the rate of 60.3%. In the case of academic support, the mandatory study session, the GPAs tended to fluctuate. Sometimes they would go up, and other weeks they would go down, and there was never really a consistent upward pattern. And despite the upward movement of GPAs in academic support students of 51.5%, there still was a very large percentage of students whose GPAs went down at 45.5%. Another important statistic to consider while evaluating this data is that students who attended ROAR on a consistent basis tended to have an overall GPA of 3.7, and the students who attended academic support had a much lower GPA in general. This tells me a few things. First off, it makes me wonder if students who attended ROAR have more of an initiative in their academic studies than the students who attended academic support on a mandatory basis. It also talks to me a little bit about the parent involvement in student academics. It is more likely for a student who attends ROAR to have their parent support because it happens after school, whereas students who attend academic support do so during the school day, and parents are not notified either way if their student is attending this additional academic intervention. An important theme that I saw between my action research and my literature review was this idea of motivation. In Mori and Uchida's study in 2009 on contrived success affecting self-efficacy among junior high students, there's a correlation drawn between how good a student feels about their academic support with their actual academic success. Students observed in this study also showed they continued to succeed in their academics when they felt invited to do well. Since students who attended the optional intervention ROAR had better initial GPAs, they showed motivation to succeed and used the forms of additional support provided to continue their success. On the other hand, students who attended academic support were required to attend and had the lowest GPAs in the students observed. As a result, the efficacy of both academic support and ROAR are beneficial for students of the junior high at this charter school in Westminster. Although attendees of ROAR showed a greater increase in GPAs, there is still an increase in GPAs among students who attend the mandated academic support. Both programs serve different populations of students at the school and allow for an opportunity to get additional support outside of the traditional classroom setting. During a time when organization and transition is difficult, these interventions seem to have a positive outcome among the students. These findings led me to the conclusion that both programs should be retained while explaining to parents and students that the efficacy of ROAR seems to be higher. This suggests that because it requires parental buy-in in order for students to stay after school, parental support is another key element to students' overall success in the school. Thank you very much for listening to this presentation. I hope this information will be beneficial for other junior high academic support interventions.